Hey Tankers, this is Zem from Shrike Gaming. Playing a little IS3 today. Um, this is one of those games that Matchmaker really tries me. In this situation, we end up with 7 TDs on one side. Typically, I don't have a problem with TDs, uh, except for when in this map. Um, 5 of them end up at the sniper hole at B2, because that's where TDs go. The fact that one of them is an E4 and the other one's a 263 really, really make me wonder some days. Um, I can see the 263 because of its accuracy, but an E4, which with this armor and its rather crappy accuracy, uh, literally for the first 5 minutes of the game, um, don't even have their guns in play. They just kind of sit there like a typical. This is something I have with TD play in general. I play TDs. Actually, it's one of my most played classes. You want to be successful in TDs. Sitting at a bush 100 meters away from base, you're doing nothing. You are not helping your team. You are not putting shots on target. You are essentially wasting a tank. Unless that gun is firing, um, you're just sitting there waiting until the rest of your team dies. And then, yeah, you might get some damage at the end of the game, but uh, you're certainly not helping your team. And in this situation, since they cannot see most of those enemy tanks on the 1-2 line because of those ridges, they're just sitting there kind of twiddling their thumbs. At the same time, not only did we get 7 TDs, but we only get one medium, um, where the enemy team gets multiple mediums, which on this map it is a view game, um, kind of handicaps us directly from the start, along with the 7 TDs. Trying to squeeze a shot through that little opening is, as you see, I failed. But yeah, this was an uphill battle from the start. Um, like I said, I don't mind that so much, except for shouldn't happen. It doesn't need to happen. Um, this is a matchmaker snafu, whatever you want to call it. A lot of times people say, "Oh, it's not rigged. It's not," but there's just so many of these games that you got to wonder why why it happens. It does. We do have 2 DDs that go town, and I commend them for doing it. They do get it. You want to do damage, you can't be sitting in that back corner. And like I said, I love TDs. It's one of my most played line of tanks. But for too many years, TDs are always told, "Ah, you need to sit in the bush somewhere. That's your job." Well, to a certain degree, like your ISU 152s, probably not the best thing that you want on the front line, but you have a 263 and a E4, um, which are pretty sturdy tanks. And at this moment, you can actually see they've lost the T10, which doesn't make any sense why Heavy was over there. I mean, granted, the T10 it does play very much like a medium, but he died rather quickly from poking. So the TDs now have started to push up, which is interesting with the fact that 2 ISU 152s are doing the pushing and now an IS3, but the E4 it is actually going with them. I had actually decided to move out of town because it looked like it was going to be a fail, and the fact that there was these 3 mediums up here that were literally having their way with my team. Hopefully, to put a few shots in them and maybe back them up a little bit. Um, at this point, the enemy team had kind of actually maybe started counting and figured that we were a little outnumbered on this side. Um, I actually didn't even noticed that the 263 and the other ISU 152 had actually, at this point, moved up in during the game. I had assumed that they would still be on Overwatch, making sure that once we did lose this side, that we would have some support. And it wasn't until after the last tank had died here in town that I'd realized that we had lost all support from the sniper or from the TDs, which isn't a good thing. Um, if you're going to sit in that bush, but then all of a sudden abandon it when you see one side caving, yeah, it makes you very happy, makes you a little worried. Also, another thing that this game, uh, this specific game, um, really points out is that during this whole fight that we're having right here at this point, the artillery piece, the 261, had yet to fire this way. Now, what I find amazing about this is that typically as an RD player, I do play RD. I actually have several RDs. Uh, you, as an RD player, need to be watching um, the weak points, the spots where a push or a stall is failing, and that should be your job, is to make sure you support that side. At this point, the 261 had yet fired a single shell in this direction. Now, not only is an arty, which is interesting, this is the shortest distance, so that means you have the least amount of flight time. So this would have been an easier shot to begin with. But during the whole game, there wasn't a single artillery shell fired this way. Um, it is concerning. It's actually a little uh, disturbing to think that I'm not even sure who the 6-1 player is, but he had actually not paid attention most of the game, and we were in trouble. We really were. At this point, it was me. Now it's me against was at the time 4 tanks. Um, this is not a good time, especially with being in a tier 8 against 2 10s, a 9, and another 8. And as you noticed, still not a single shot from the artillery, even as I get pushed here. Um, uh, it is annoying um, that they don't pay attention, and this, I guess, maybe is the reason why artillery players have such a bad reputation. Um, but fortunately for me, uh, the enemy players decided to YOLO one at a time and die, and we was able to finish them off. The 263 finally was able to finish off the 1-2 line. Um, at this point, I kind of curious why the E5 had actually taken off. The enemy E5 had taken off. They had me dead by rights if he would have actually moved in and did something. Considering that at no point in this game had the 261 had dropped a shell anywhere close to any of them. But fortunately for me, he decided to not test me and took off. Um, so as the 263, he actually is had a really good game. I think he ended up with about 4.6k damage. Finished off the 1-2 line and played it well enough to come back through center and not try to go to cap. This is you do see this once 1-2 any side is won. They continue to push to cap. That usually gets wrecked as they push it into cap, but he decides to come back through middle. At this point, he has very low health, and I have enough to at least take one more shot. So I offer to be the guinea pig here. Hopefully, I can spot him and maybe get a shot, or even the already get a shot. I do take a round from the E5 sitting over there, which does spot him, and the 263 was able to finish him off. this game was close, like I said, but at a certain in a certain way, this shouldn't have been this close. I can't blame matchmaker, and I can't always blame the players, but TDs are important to the game. They are an important part of the game. Um, I just really wish that some players would decide that maybe to break out of the box and play that tank a little different. Well, thank you for watching. I'll be posting more replays later on this week. Guys, have a good weekend. Thank you.